With Cape Media News Conversations, I'm Sarah Colvin, talking today about a local effort to help those who are food insecure get more fresh, healthy produce. I'm very happy to welcome in studio Chris MENARD, Executive Director of the Family Pantry, and Rory Eames. She's the owner of the organic market, soon to be called Rory's. Thank you guys so much for coming in today.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks. So Rory, we'll start with you. Talk to me a little bit about the organic market. Tell me about your business.
So my mother founded the business in 1978 with one store. It's about 600 square feet in actually West Harwich, where Rite Aid is now. And today we have two stores, one in Mashpee Commons and one in Dennisport. We're about 4,000 and 3,000 square feet.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And so, Chris, for you, tell me about the Family Pantry.
The Family Pantry is located in Harwich. It's the largest pantry on Cape Cod. It is the only pantry that serves the entire Cape and the islands. There is no, doesn't matter where you live, who you are, where you come from, you are able to come to the pantry. Last year we distributed about 91,000 bags of groceries across the Cape, and we serve about 9,500 people annually, so it's a big endeavor.
Wow. And so in a time when all of us are trying to eat more healthy, we're aware of organic food, of things that are grown in a healthy way. Rory, talk to me a little bit about why it's important for you to provide that for your customers, and then we'll talk a little bit about this effort.
Yeah, so the access and affordability of fresh and healthy food is something that my mother's always been passionate about and definitely passed that on to me. You know, it's one of the reasons why we expanded our food service department is because we felt like there was a lack of access to like fast casual lunch, dinner, breakfast to go. Our juice and smoothie bar has been hugely successful, mainly because I think there's like a need for it, and the accessibility, the price point, and the speed in which you can pick it up. Also, I feel like our produce department has grown astronomically because we do really work well with local vendors, regional suppliers, like in the off season as well. And we like to keep the price points competitive and offer kind of a unique variety too.
And Chris, is it challenging for you to stock fresh, healthy produce in the Family Pantry? How does that work?
It's a huge issue. We have a goal to be able to distribute at least 30% of everything that goes out the door to be fresh. We started a garden, 9,000 square foot garden, about 6 years ago to try to help with that, but there's always a gap, a huge gap between what we have and what we need. So when Rory called me and said this is what they wanted to do, I was like, what? So this was huge for us. Just in the last 3 weeks when we started the program, it's been over 3,000 pounds that have rolled in the front door. It allows us to be able to take limits off, so when people shop, you know, they can take what they want versus what we have. This is just enormous for us, so a really, really, really great partnership.
And so, Rory, tell me a little bit about how you got the idea to do this and what it is that you're doing.
So when we were working on kind of rebranding as this new brand of Rory's, you know, because my mother retired this year, which has been amazing working with her, you know, since I was 21, but it's great. I'm super happy to be taking over officially, and we went back to our mission statement and, you know, what's important to us, and the accessibility to healthy, nutritious food for everyone is a really big goal of ours, is to help improve that accessibility, and whether it's just us offering it at a fair price and having it all the time, or helping to give back to our local food banks where people that don't have the means to purchase on a weekly basis can go and feel safe and comfortable picking up you know, fresh food. They shouldn't have to shop from seconds and damaged product, we feel. So when we figured out, okay, well, this is what we want to do, you know, we give to so many different places, let's focus our energy on what we care about, which is, you know, food insecurity and people's access to fresh produce especially. We thought about percentage points or percentage of sales, or having certain days where we match what you purchase, so we felt like all that was super confusing for our customers and wouldn't make a meaningful impact as far as what we were able to actually donate. So we said, well, we really like the one-for-one model. You know, you buy a pound, you give a pound. We didn't really know how we were going to pull it off or do it, but I was sold on the pound for pound, which turned into where we got the good for good slogan out of it. And we talked with our produce managers and our marketing director, and we just kind of figured it out. And 3 weeks in, and 3,500 pounds, and
that's amazing.
Yeah, we're super excited. So for every pound of produce we sell by weight, which in the off season right now it's about 1,200 pounds a week we've been averaging. We are donating that in fresh produce to the Family Pantry of Cape Cod. But in the summer, it'll go anywhere from 5,000 to 10,000 pounds a week.
That's amazing. So starting at this time of year when it's relatively slow,
yeah, we want to work the kinks out.
already seeing a big impact. And Chris, you were talking a little bit about that, but I mean, talk to me a little bit more about what an impact this is making for your clients.
Yeah, so today is a good example. The load came in this morning, and we have 30 different items on the shelf. There's a 16-foot produce case in there that our clients are able to just shop just like it was a Stop and Shop. And to see, we have 3 different types of lettuce. Now you might not think that's a big deal, but that's a very big deal for us, we have fresh cantaloupes, we have apples, oranges, cukes, peppers, we have everything. And you can just see when the clients come through the line, how excited they are, because as we all know, it's very expensive to buy fresh, very expensive. And so, when you're really on a budget, that's sometimes what goes by the wayside. What this is helping us do is increase the variety and also be able to take off limits. So if we don't have a ton, we'll say, okay, you can only have 3 oranges. Well, now, there's no limit. So if you need 6 or 8, well then, you have 6 or 8 oranges. So
that's wonderful.
Yeah, it's just, this has just been a really big boom for us. And we're looking forward to the summer. Rory always says, what are you going to do with 5,000 to 10,000 pounds? And I'm like, let me worry about that.
We're going to go from 1 drop a week to 2.
Yes,
we're going to fit on the truck.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We're good.
And so you talked a little bit about the need here on the Cape, and I really think it's important to talk a little bit more about that, because I think that people really don't realize how large the need is, how many food insecure people there are here on the Cape. So talk to me a little bit about what you know about how many people there are that really are fit that food insecure description.
Feeding America they're kind of the analytical part of the food insecurity world, and they have identified on the Cape it's about 10% of the population, so that's about 23,000 people. And that's driven primarily because of the high cost of living and the seasonal nature of employment. So, you can if you work 2 or 3 jobs in the summer, you can probably get by. But then come October and the hours are you get less hours or you get laid off completely. How do you gap that time without having to move off Cape? And so if we want our families to stay here, and as I always say, if the families don't stay, we become Atlantic City. So, this is really important that we're able to kind of bridge that gap. So when the hours and money is tight and you can't afford to pay your electric, your mortgage, and your food bill, then when you can come to us every 14 days, that burden is off your plate, no pun intended, and then you can pay maybe your mortgage or your electric bill. So it's a huge issue on the Cape. People just think we're a very affluent community, but like any seasonal community, there's these highs and lows, and the pantry is there to take care of when, and a very small percentage of our clients shop with us every 2 weeks. Most of them just come when they have to come. And so, that we've been there for almost 29, we're coming up on our 30th year.
Wow, congratulations.
Yes, and I would love for us to go out of business, but that is not going to happen anytime soon.
Absolutely. And Rory, when you started this program, did you expect it to be as successful as you've seen it over the past 3 weeks?
I don't know what we were expecting, other than I was terrified, what did we just what did we just decide to do? But it just felt so right, and I've never felt so good about anything we've ever done, and I think this is just kind of laying the groundwork for what we seek to do as a company. Produce is what we're doing today, and what I think we'll always do, just because there's always going to be a need for the fresh produce. But we're going to really try to get into grocery matching this summer, and who knows, locations in food deserts just to serve certain communities is the big dream, 10 stores from now, but and mark everything above cost so that you live in that zip code, you can afford it.
Yeah.
But that's just my mind,
It's the beginning of a beautiful partnership, right?
Exactly.
This is
Yeah.
only the beginning.
Yes.
Well, Chris and Rory, thank you so much for coming in, and thank you for the important work you do here in our community.
You're welcome.
Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much.
much.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks.
You're welcome. My guest today, Chris MENARD from the Family Pantry in Harwich, and Rory Ames of the Organic Market in Dennisport and also in Mashpee. It's the Rory's Good for Good campaign we're talking about here on Cape Media News Conversations. I'm Sarah Colvin.